One of Treyway's most prominent members, aka Kifano Jordan, aka Shotti, learned his fate Friday morning in a courtroom in Manhattan via a Manhattan judge. Shotti will spend the next 15 years of his life in prison due to this racketeering case. If you remember correctly, it was last November where Tekashi 69, his former manager Shotti, and many other members of the Treyway set were arrested on racketeering charges. Essentially, the feds claimed that they were watching the Treyway game for quite some time because they were doing crimes all around the city. They were walking around like they were invincible, posting it on social media, beefing with other gangs publicly, and using Tekashi 69's rap career to fund drug-related activity. It was 6 months ago where Shotti pled guilty to one count of using and possessing a firearm in furtherance of a crime of violence and one count of discharging a firearm in furtherance of a crime of violence. He pled guilty, let's call a spade, because his former client, Tekashi 69, agreed to work with the feds. Pretty much everyone related to the Treyway gang has pled guilty because they don't believe that they can beat Tekashi 69 working with the feds. So in order to ever see the light of day, most of these dudes have pled guilty to something. In Shotti's situation, the feds believe that he was involved in a multitude of crimes, including robbing someone at gunpoint back in April of 2018. Apparently, Tekashi 69 was right next to Shotti as they robbed somebody. The feds also allege that Shotti was involved in robbing one of Tekashi's ops at gunpoint. They also have accused Shotti of firing 2 shots at one of Tekashi's rivals on the same night that he also fired a gun inside of the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. So most of these crimes are Tekashi related, and Tekashi's working with the feds. So Shotti pled guilty, and in a courtroom earlier today, a Manhattan judge had no sympathy for Shotti as they were pushing for 15 years, and they gave Shotti 15 years in prison. In regards to Tekashi 69, who is also due in court later this month to provide his testimony, and he will be sentenced in January of 2020. You can look at what happened to Tekashi's former manager in one of two ways. You can think to yourself, okay, if Shotti got 15 years, Tekashi might at least have to do 3 to 5, even though he snitched. Or you could look at it like the feds are so happy with Tekashi and what information and intel he's giving them behind the scenes as he's agreed to work with them. This dude could very well get out of prison next year. You could look at it one or two ways. Many people thought Shotti had some type of plan to get out of prison, if you remember correctly. In a court appearance in last November, it was Shotti who looked at his former client, Tekashi, and told him straight up and down, we don't fold, we don't bend, we don't break, it's Treyway. And many people thought that was Shotti giving Tekashi a message that we'll find a way to get around your snitching antics. Looks like today, Tekashi is the real winner as his ex-manager, Shotti, sentenced to 15 years in prison. Thank you guys so much for the time, love, support. I don't take it for granted. Salute. I came from nothing, but I want everything God has for me. I interview celebrities. I talk sports. I still represent the culture.
I got the kids, they tuned in.
We locked in right now,
Mr. Taliaferro.
Mr. Taliaferro.
Shout out to Mr. Taliaferro.
You're watching Mr. Taliaferro TV.
Mr. Taliaferro TV.